Hi, Ghosties. I'm Macy.
And I'm Natalie.
And today's episode is going to be a little different. It started with a topic chosen by Patreon, but as I was doing my research, it went into a strange direction.
Okay.
So bear with me.
We're going to get weird.
So yeah, bear with me. It's going to get a little weird.
Okay.
Today, we are talking about liminal spaces, dreams, and what could be a shared dreamscape between people who have never met one another. It's almost a continuation of a topic that we talked about on Patreon a few months ago, the dream alternate reality dreams.
Okay.
Though you don't have to watch that episode to be into this, so don't worry about that. What started with the internet lore of the Backrooms turned into a look at dreams, mall world, and a few stories of people who claim to have experienced eerie things in liminal spaces. Today's topic may feel familiar, like something you've experienced before, but you just can't put your finger on it. And I'll warn you ahead of time, we will not have answers or evidence to back up any of our theories. Today we are simply telling stories and thinking through the spookier aspects of what could be a kind of maybe interdimensional location, possibly.
Okay.
Take this episode with a lot of question marks, okay? It may be unsatisfying at the end, but it's creepy to me. Anyway.
I mean, I've always been interested in the Backrooms, but I never really knew what it was. I obviously have seen videos about it and seen people show photos of oh, do you feel like you've been here before? And everyone's kind of like, yeah, kind of, maybe, I think. I don't know.
Vaguely familiar.
Why is this familiar? Yeah, so.
But unsettling.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Other than that, it makes me feel unsettled and confused.
We're going to get into the origins and the lore around the Backrooms, specifically the online Backrooms.
Don't tell me it's just a conspiracy from Reddit.
You'll see.
God, no.
You'll see.
You're going to ruin it.
It is going to be ruined for you, but we'll go into something else that's going to blow your mind. You've never heard of Mall World, right?
It's, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll see. So
I'm sure they have.
Bring your question marks. Take all of this with a grain of salt and just get a little weird with us. Our tea today is Republic of Tea Blueberry Lavender Iced Tea.
And we actually iced it. We didn't bring it hot and then go, oh, this is supposed to be iced.
Yes.
So we're trying it how it was suggested.
We made iced tea. And it looks and smells really good.
Yep. So let's go.
So what do you think?
It is almost, I almost like it.
Okay.
It's I want it to be more blueberry than lavender. It's definitely a lot of lavender.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I said that I've been liking lavender lately. I did like the lavender in a lot of things, but just not this one. It's too much.
It is very lavender, but I like it personally because I like lavender.
Yeah.
So it's very refreshing to me. Imagining this outside in the backyard on a warm, sunny day.
I don't know.
That feels right to me.
Maybe if we put those blueberry sugar cubes in there that we had. I think those are blueberry lavender as well.
It might add too much lavender.
No, but they tasted very blueberry. So if I put a little bit more blueberry flavor, I would like it. It's not bad.
It was good. I don't remember if we bought this or someone sent it to us. But either way, I like it.
It's one you'll have again.
I will, yeah. Have you ever found yourself walking through an empty office building? The kind with outdated walls, old carpets, and cheap fixtures. The fluorescent lights are bright. Maybe some of them aren't even turned on all the way. As you make your way down a long corridor littered with doors on each side. The only sound you hear is the hum of the lights above you and the soft sounds of your footsteps. There's this unsettling feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you're in a room or a building that is typically littered with people, but for one reason or another, it's totally empty as you make your way down the hallway. It's like this liminal space. At a time when a place that is usually teeming with life is suddenly devoid of any living, breathing thing. Now imagine yourself here. But you get this unnerving feeling that maybe you aren't alone. There are no signs of a coworker or cleaning crew or delivery person. In fact, there isn't anything around you that would indicate that you aren't alone, but you just can't shake this feeling that there might be something there, waiting, watching. It's a place just like this one where our journey begins, and it's called the Backrooms. What started with an unassuming photo of an old office space turned into something of an internet legend. Quote, if you're not careful and you clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum humbuzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
Oh, who put that? Where did you find this quote?
Random internet person.
Oh, good God.
It took the internet by storm, and people began sharing their own photos of seemingly abandoned spaces that have this yellow hue and the feeling you may have seen a place like it before, but something's just off. Then the stories began. If you aren't careful, you, too, could end up here in one of these spaces. A place where a dingy wallpaper covers every inch of the walls and the carpet is slightly damp, and no matter how far you walk, you'll never find a window letting in any amount of natural light. The fluorescent lights above you buzz and hum until it reaches an unbearable volume, and you are totally and utterly alone. After finding yourself here, you may start walking, and walking, and walking. It's a never-ending maze of office space, vaguely familiar and confusing. The only way to get here is to no-clip out of reality and into this one. It's not usually done intentionally, and many who find themselves here begin their journey wandering through this strange place unaware of what just happened to them. To no-clip, you'll have to find a corner or wall that looks just a bit off, like the texture's wrong or the shading seems unusual, or just a space that makes your hair stand on end. Once you lean against the spot, you'll find yourself somewhere else entirely. Sometimes it can happen by simply opening a door that doesn't seem like it belongs in the space, or missing the last step on a staircase and falling through. So no-clipping is...
I was just about to ask, what the heck are you talking about?
No-clipping is like a video game term where basically developers can
put in little things,
do things on the back end so that when they want to like go and check on something at the end, they can like where they can turn off where you can like run into walls and you just walk through. So that's no clipping. It's originally a video game term, but they're saying that you can no clip in real life if you find a, I don't know, like a tear in the fabric of reality.
Okay.
Where you fall through.
Okay.
And into the back rooms.
This is not at all something I thought the Backrooms were, or something we'd discuss.
It took on its own thing later on. And we can talk about that in a little bit, but this is the origins of the backroom.
Okay.
Once here, you'll find yourself utterly lost. It doesn't matter what direction you go in. There is no rhyme or reason for the way things change around you. If you go straight ahead, you could find yourself back right at the start, never having made a turn. If you try to retrace your steps, you may find that the rooms you just walked through are nothing like they were before. Time moves in a way that is unpredictable and completely different than it does in our reality. I found a quote that seems to encapsulate the Backrooms perfectly, so I'll say it here. Quote, "They say that it's an afterlife, not for people, but for places. For every chain storefront demolished, every retail outlet bought out, every dead mall razed to the ground, a limbo for every building without purpose, those in-between spaces. Endless structures so unfathomable, yet so clearly man-made. Edges in the curtains of memory, corners that open up at the seams of reality to let the unlucky wanderer in." While some believe the whole 600 million square miles is devoid of life, it's thought that this may not be entirely true. There's a presence in this space that's out of sight, but it's something you can hear and feel as it makes its way closer to you. It's possible that it's a fellow wanderer, someone who has found themselves in the same predicament, though it's unclear if you'll ever actually meet them. It could be that you simply stay just outside of each other's reach, destined to walk alone forever. Or maybe it's something other, something inhuman. It's something that may have always existed here, making the Backrooms its home long before you've fallen through. But there is another theory. It's thought that many who make it to the Backrooms will never make it out, destined to walk these lonely halls until they fall victim to dehydration, starvation, or psychological trauma. It's possible that you truly are alone, and those noises, this unknown monster, could simply be hallucinations as you slowly lose your mind lost in the maze.
So what I picture when people say like liminal spaces, the vibe I get is like, I'm so sorry, the episode of SpongeBob when they're just in that big white area. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's a liminal space.
That's like,
and I'll talk about it more later. Like we can have I have a whole section for us to discuss liminal spaces.
Okay.
But it's an in-between. Essentially. Liminal means like there was and there will be, and liminal is like the in-between of that.
So is that like with us, like life and death in the in-between, that's a liminal space? So like, what is purgatory?
A liminal space.
A liminal space?
Yeah.
What is the definition of purgatory?
Time.
You're literally like in between your final place and like life, if you believe in such things. I've never known what that meant, really.
In Roman Catholic theology, purgatory is a state or process of final purification for those who die in God's grace and friendship, but are still imperfectly purified. It is not a second chance at salvation, but a cleansing of venial sins and temporal punishment for forgiven sins, allowing the soul to achieve the holiness necessary to enter the joy of heaven.
Oh.
So that's what Catholics see purgatory as.
Yeah, I mean, because
Like, an in-between.
I've only ever heard it used in a religious sense from people, and I never really knew exactly what it meant. I knew it was in between, but I was like, so are you being punished? Like, is this... I never knew, you know?
It's like...
It sounds like a punishment.
A way to cleanse your soul, I guess, before you can make it into heaven, because you have to be pure to be in heaven. Is what... I don't know. I'm not Catholic.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know. I always thought, so there's a hell before the hell? I never knew what people were talking about. But okay,
we still don't. Now, the backrooms aren't always described in this way. There are some who say there are levels to the backrooms. Level 0 being the starting point described as before, where GPS and compasses don't work, radios are unreliable. It's silent aside from that buzzing of the lights and the distant human-like speech in a language you can't understand, and even loud insect chittering. It's known for hallucinations like shadows moving in your peripheral vision of small bugs crawling underneath the wallpaper, and the only way to escape is to no-clip out. But you don't leave the backrooms. Rather, you fall deeper into another level of this infinite horror. There are levels that resemble abandoned warehouses or parking garages where objects never stay put, unless you are looking at them, and water appears from nowhere in inconsistent puddles on the floor. Or levels made of tight maintenance tunnels that lead you down to what seems like deeper into the complex. Some of these levels are known to contain entities. These entities are not human. They are hostile and stalk you as you try to find your way through. If you are a believer of this, then there are hundreds of levels you must make your way through, and it's unclear if you will ever be able to find a way out. Though this is incredibly eerie and frightening, the thought of finding yourself totally alone in a place beyond our reality, luckily, this isn't actually a physical location you can visit. Rather, it is purely internet lore. It's a creepypasta created and built upon by people on sites like Reddit and a wiki page dedicated to the space. It's a creation of the collective imagination inspired by the feelings evoked from that initial photo and other strange liminal spaces. And I'll show you that initial photo. I forgot to pull it up.
Everything that I've brought to you as like, oh my god, I've heard of this and it's really scary, has been a freaking creepypasta. I don't even know how you access those stories. I just know all of them for some reason.
I think there's a website called Creepypasta.
I was never on it.
This is the original photo.
And that's scary to me.
Yeah.
That's a horrifying photo.
And Why? It was paired with that quote that I read at the beginning.
Also, where is that at? Is that like a real place?
I will tell you. It began with a post on 4chan in 2019. And it was like they said like post unsettling pictures or post something somewhere creepy or whatever. And someone posted this picture that they found on the internet. And then someone commented under that, like...
This is my house.
No. If you aren't careful, you'll no-clip into the back rooms and you'll find all this stuff. That's where that quote at the beginning comes from. And then it just snowballed from there. It inspired many short stories, an entire YouTube found footage series, and was even one of the many things that inspired the show Severance. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
I haven't either, but I've heard good things. And what really fed into the original mystery was the fact that nobody could figure out the photo's origins for quite some time. So someone posted it and they were like, whoa, what is this place? And it was like, I don't know. And they're like, maybe it is the Backrooms.
Yeah,
like,
maybe where would you get that photo?
It wasn't until 2024 when a group of internet sleuths found it was a pre-reno photo taken in 2003 of an old hobby town that was being remodeled in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. The space today looks nothing like it did in the original photo. It's actually an RC racing store. Like you can go in and like race your RC cars. And the mysterious origins truly fed into the mystery, leading some to believe that maybe this place didn't truly exist in reality. Like maybe this is a true photo of the Backrooms. And the found footage series on YouTube, really creepy. I watched some of them, very scary. You should go look at it.
I've seen some people on like TikTok be like, I think I found the Backrooms. And obviously, you know, they didn't and it's nothing like, but it is chilling to watch because you feel unsettled.
It inspired. Like, okay, so this guy, Kane Pixels, I think his real name is Kane Parsons, posted a like short little, I don't know, like less than 15-minute video of some cameraman like filming a short film with his friends and falling through a wall into the Backrooms. And he's like walking around with his camera looking around, and it ends with the camera like no clipping back into reality and falling like super high up out of nowhere in a different year. It's really creepy. So if you have the chance, go check it out on YouTube. Really cool. Kane Pixels. if you search the Backrooms on YouTube, you will find, like, this will be the first thing that pops up.
Oh, wow.
He's also working on a movie with A24 based on the Backrooms. And I think it's set to come out this year.
No way.
So keep your eyes peeled, yeah.
That's so exciting.
I would definitely go watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
But even if it isn't real, even if the Backrooms aren't real, there are still places and spaces just like this one that evoke the same feelings and cause that same sense of panic in people upon visiting or seeing photos. There's a vibe that the Backrooms help describe for liminal spaces like it that people have experienced. There's a paranormal element to these spaces, and people often describe feeling uneasy while they're there. So that's where, like, I think I found the Backrooms kind of posts and stuff came about.
It's the vibe, it's the feeling that people get. It's the feeling. Okay. Yes. Why do we get that feeling? I have a theory.
Okay.
A slight one.
Let's hear.
Just based off of what we talked about so far, is like when you go into an old office space or an old hospital or a school when no one's there or an old school, things like that. I think that we as people, you know, me, everybody put your woo-woo hat on because it's my time to talk. It's going there. When people occupy a space for so long, you leave like a little piece of your energy there.
Like an aura almost.
And kind of, but everybody's little pieces of energy are still like vibrating around in there. So you can feel
so like
that people used to be there.
Like residual haunting of sorts.
Almost, but it's just like there were so many people there at once and now nobody's there and the energy just has nowhere to go. So it's just
even through photos
bouncing around in the room. Maybe.
My theory is
I'm talking about when you're in there and you feel that like, oh my God.
As you're walking down the hallway of a hotel.
Yes.
Or like you're at the office early in the morning and the lights still aren't totally on and you're
walking. I used to call you every morning. Yeah. I'd be the first one at my job every day. I'd call you first thing in the morning and be like, hey, talk to me while I look through all the rooms and the bathrooms and turn on all the lights because I'm scared. Mm-hmm.
Mine is different. Mine has more psychological than it is woo-woo.
Okay.
One, yes, we're used to seeing places filled with people and maybe that gives an unsettling vibe that it's totally empty. You're totally alone.
Mm-hmm.
2, liminal spaces and liminal just times in general are a place of unknown.
Mm.
So you're in the middle, you're in between, and you'd like to think that where you're heading is the end and you know what's going to happen, but you don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's just life.
That's just my thought.
That's just life in
all
general.
of life. But yeah, that's my thought, but I don't know for sure.
Wow, I'm still stuck on, like, everything that I've ever known scary from the internet is a freaking creepypasta.
Creepypasta? Yeah.
Which one of my friends, like, got on that website and just started telling me things? Because I never got on that website.
Is it Brittany?
Probably. It probably was. But, like, I know about all these little scary things. And every time I'm like, do the research, you're like, it is a 2-sentence story from creepypasta.
Yeah.
Like, great.
But awesome. It's so interesting because it just snowballed into something massive.
And now it's going to be an A24 movie, which I live.
That's interesting to me. I find the paranormal aspect of it, obviously, this is Ghosties, interesting.
Yeah.
The thought and the feelings that it evokes in a supernatural sense. And author Megan Cutler put it in a way that I liked in her blog. Quote, if liminality represents the threshold between states of being, then liminal space logically represents spaces that occupy the threshold between 2 other spaces. These transitional spaces include hallways, gas stations, and the most common liminal space, crossroads. Liminal spaces also tend to appear eerie, forlorn, or surreal. One of the pillars of liminal space tends to be the absence of other people, making most liminal experiences solitary. Liminal spaces are temporal. They occupy the space between use and disuse, and between the past and present. Liminal spaces are almost always open, almost always available in some way. But usually they are only used for a certain period of time, leaving them open to intersection during the hours normal people aren't using them. You can think of liminal space as a space that is open and welcoming, not just to humans on our plane of existence, but to spirits and fey creatures that may come from other realms. While we make wide use of them, liminal spaces may feel perfectly normal. But in their off hours, it's impossible to say what might make use of them. And entering the space during those off hours can be eerie and disconcerting. I just like that description of them, tying it to the paranormal. And there are plenty of spaces like this that some connect with the Backrooms, like this listener story from Morgan.
Oh, there's listener stories. Oh my God.
Yes. At the time of these stories, I did not know what the Backrooms or liminal space theory was. But when I first learned about them and saw a picture of what it is supposed to look like, I got chills. Because the image I saw looked almost exactly like my sophomore year of college dorm. Like, literally, I just Googled Backrooms and saw the photos. That is exactly what it looked like. This dorm was an old hotel. The lights were fluorescent, but somehow dim. The hallways all looked the same. Everything had a gray-yellow tinge, and there was way too much empty space. The lobby level was huge, and it had multiple large conference/ballrooms that stayed empty the majority of the time. Behind these rooms were literally back rooms that all connected to each other and a back hallway. I suppose this was where hotel staff could have prepared food and things for events, but they were mostly empty or used for storage. On the same lobby level, there was another huge section that was completely vacant and dark. I think the university used it to teach a beer brewing class, but I never saw anyone over there, and it was constantly dark. The hotel had a huge check-in area that was also empty the majority of the time, and I'm sure there were other rooms behind it. The next level had another series of vacant rooms that were smaller conference rooms and another back hallway that connected them. I think the laundry and kitchen were on this floor too. All the rooms, all the hallways looked like they had no beginning or end. And even though it was a dorm with a lot of college girls living in it, I can't remember ever seeing someone in a hallway or the stairwell. I would sometimes do my laundry late at night and walk up and down the stairs, and I always felt like someone was watching me. I would practically run down the hall to get back to my room. When I was walking in the hallways, it was almost like the distance of the hall would change. Sometimes they'd seem short, sometimes it was like they never ended. At the time, I thought that this was just paranoia or anxiety, but I have never felt like this anywhere else. I started having really bad nightmares that all took place in my dorm room and the hallway. They were like those dreams where you're not really sure if you're awake or asleep. One night I dreamt that there were several people watching from right outside the door. I could hear them. I could see their feet pacing back and forth in the tiny sliver of light under the door. They were looking through the peephole. I knew they were bad people. I screamed so loud that I woke up, and I woke up my roommate. Sometimes I would have a sort of sleep paralysis, and I would just watch these shadow people walk back and forth across my room. I had these dreams so much that I was terrified to go to sleep because I was unsure of what I would see. One night when my roommate was out of town, I had a dream, or sleep paralysis, or something, that I was laying in bed and there was a dark-haired girl in a white dress floating towards me from the doorway of my bedroom. It was so real. I had seen the creepy shadow figures, seen other strange goblin-like shapes, and felt the ominous feeling of being watched, but this was the first time I saw something that was so clearly a person and so clearly floating like a ghost. I turned on the light and put on a TV show, The Office or Modern Family, to fall back asleep. When I woke up the next morning, the light was off. I know that some people might write this off as sleep paralysis, but I firmly believe that it was something else that existed only in that dorm. I have only experienced sleep paralysis 2 other times in my life, not in the dorm, and both of those times it was very clear it was sleep paralysis and I was dreaming. That dorm was so incredibly scary. Living there had a huge impact on my mental health. I have never had that type of anxiety or paranoia anywhere else in my life. I 100% believe that it was haunted or some sort of backrooms portal. Probably both. I mean, wouldn't the backrooms have to be incredibly haunted because everyone is stuck there with no way out? Thinking about it gives me chills. Oh, one more thing. A few months before I moved in, a girl was found dead in one of the rooms. She had committed suicide. I lived on the floor above where she was found, one room over. I found some pics online and attached them to this email. When I lived there in 2015 to 16, it looked like this, but they were more slowly renovating, so maybe it's changed slightly, but I doubt it. My room was renovated already, and it was still creepy. Now I'm going to go sane, smudging, but sane is the word from England, Scotland, where my ancestors and my spiritual teachers' ancestors are from, to clear some energy. And have a cup of tea, of course. Sending you and your pups so much love, Morgan.
Okay. So not only is it a college dorm, it is a college dorm that used to be a hotel. Now, why would they do that?
Yeah.
You are asking for horrible, spooky, scary time all the time. I can't think of something worse.
And here's some photos. That's Backrooms.
Yeah, no, that's... Why would they do... Whose idea was that?
I mean,
yes, I'm glad they made use of it instead of, like, tearing it down and rebuilding something because that would be wasteful, but, like, ugh, you need to bring a priest.
A weird energy,
You need to bring something in there. Something. You gotta, like, put some sage into, like, one of those little vacuum blowers and, like, the whole place.
Just, like a tent it, like when you have termites or something.
Yes, tent it with the sage, because that is so dark.
Yeah, that's creepy and spooky to me.
Gosh.
And the backrooms represent this in-between space, somewhere familiar yet uncanny. And some believe that the backrooms might be a place that we can visit via our dreams.
Oh, I've heard that.
You may be able to find them if you lucid dream, but there is this idea that it could be a dreamscape, a collective dream space that many people have visited over the years. And I have a couple of stories from Reddit about that.
Okay.
When I was about 5 years old, I think I visited the Backrooms in a dream. I've actually been putting it together in my head for a couple of days. I had a little brother that passed away in a traumatic way when I was 4, so in my little mind, I thought I might find him in my dreams. One night, as I slept, I jumped into this hallway that resembled my father's office. The familiar setting of what felt like my dad's workplace faded away as I walked down the dimly lit passage. Light was streaming in, and there was carpet on the floor. Soon I found myself in a white hallway. It felt cold. The lights were bright in the hallway, but the room seemed dark. I peered around one corner and saw 2 men talking. They were sitting at what could be compared to an air traffic control command center, big windows for outside observation and joysticks, buttons, and scanners. But this was 1987. I'm not sure I knew what I was looking at the time, nor did I have words to describe it to my dad the next morning. It's only now at 42 that I'm putting the pieces together about this dream. Such a vivid recollection all these years later. After observing the control room and people talking and laughing amongst themselves, I continued sneaking down the hallway. I walked by different rooms, and they were all similarly themed control centers. But the last room I came to had people gathered at a table looking at maps. Finally, I gathered my courage and peered around the doorframe in the next room. I asked the people a question. What is this place? These people, dressed in lab coats and spectacles, turned and glared at me. One of the men yelled, "How'd you get in here?
Oh, God.
You're not supposed to be in here." 4 or 5 adults stood up from the table and began walking toward me. I turned tail and ran. I ran so fast that my feet were kicking my butt. As I ran down the hall, more people in lab coats poured from the rooms to survey the commotion. The faster I ran, the more their voices trailed off. I reemerged on the carpeted hallway and hid in a dark closet, praying. I woke up in a sweaty panic, safe in bed.
Oh, that's horrifying. That, if a person that truly believed we lived in a simulation heard that, they'd be like, proof!
Yes.
100% proof!
Yeah.
Which honestly, to me, like,
maybe it is.
That's really, really horrifying.
We're going to delve a little deeper into this.
Oh my God. You said that this was so out there and weird. I feel like we talk about woo-woo stuff like this all the time.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just felt like, usually I'm like, and the ghost haunted, or there was a spiritual energy. And
no,
this
I
is
like this.
Dream simulation, some kind of strange amalgamation of all of it.
I'm into it. I'm having a good time.
I know you would be.
Okay.
It's weird.
There are some people that watch this that agree with me. So they're going to be into it, hopefully.
I'm into it. It's just different.
Yeah.
I had a dream about the Backrooms many years before the concept even existed. So I know dreams are just dreams, but after learning more about the Backrooms, a memory of a nightmare I had when I was around 10 or so, 2012, about a place very similar to the Backrooms, level 188, let me set the scene.
Level 188?
There are like 999 levels to the Backrooms. If you go on like the wiki page, you can go and see each page. And it's mostly just a place where people can go and create.
Do you have a picture of level 188?
Okay, some people say it's this.
Level 188 is a room with a bunch of square cutouts. Is that like grass?
I think this is like an indoor courtyard.
Oh, like in like an apartment,
like a hotel or apartment or something.
Oh,
I think this is a real hotel.
That's creepy, but I get the vibe.
Yeah,
it's that in between space. Because when you see pictures like that, like when you're looking for an apartment, it shows like, oh, it's so nice and lively, but when it's dark and nobody's there, that is scary. I never thought about that.
I was in this building. It was very broken down. There was a lot of debris around the rooms I was walking in. The rooms had holes in them big enough to walk through. The color of the walls were a sunflower yellow. In the room, there was a hole where I could see a courtyard of some kind. All I saw was another side of the building. No sky, just white. At that moment, I heard something rustling in the debris behind me. Didn't even look. Just ran as I heard it following me. One thing I noticed was that there was no hallway, just other rooms of the same size connecting to each other. No doors on hinges, just doorways. I could see as far as the eye could see in rooms connecting to each other. I just kept running. After about 10 seconds of frantically running, I woke up. It wasn't a long dream, but it was something. I didn't really think about it at the time until I learned about the Backrooms. It was kind of creepy and the connection of a dream I had years ago to something like this. And then there was a comment under it. The more I learn about the Backrooms, the creepier this whole thing gets. I know this place is all about dreams, but when I was about 10 years old, I used to see dreams of levels 11, 54, and 93. My friends kept telling me they saw these places too, and we couldn't escape it. That was 10 years ago. I never knew about the backroom phenomenon until 2020 trends, and when I read Backrooms-related articles and what usually happens on each level, I get chills because that's exactly what I remember from my dreams. So people see the same stuff in their sleep? We share nightmares? On what level of consciousness? Space and its vast distances and darkness makes me feel less vulnerable than whatever these backrooms are. This is terrifying.
Which that is interesting because with like astral projecting and things like that, people have very similar stories.
Yes. And well, I'm about to get into a whole thing.
Okay.
About this.
Okay.
This exactly.
I'm excited.
Any thoughts on the backrooms before we move on?
I'm just riveted because I didn't know it was something someone made up. But it is interesting because so many people claim to have seen it, have been there.
Unless they're coming online and just role playing and being like,
that is true.
I saw too. Let's play along. Yes, and
a lot of people do like to lie, but I don't know. I believe some people
I believe some of them
are true and they're like, whoa, this is so weird. I didn't know other people experience this. And then that point of like, is it this in between level of consciousness that we can all reach? Like, is there a space?
Like the ultimate liminal space?
Yeah. And like, does that photo just evoke that feeling because we all can access that little liminal space dream? And we're just like, wait, that's like, I know that place because subconsciously in our dreams, we have been there.
Some people believe that dreams are in and of themselves a liminal space.
Yeah, but sometimes I have dreams where I'm like, no, that was just nonsense. I don't know what that was. So last night, my dream was someone found a dog that looked just like Petey, or my boss found a dog that looked just like Petey and then brought it to the school and was like, hey, I found this dog. It looks like your dog. Like, what do you want me to do with it? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's wearing a collar. I'll call the owner. And I called the owner and it turned out that they were just trying to scam me and take all my money. And for some reason, they dropped this dog into my life. So I don't think that is anything.
I don't think so
I think
either.
that is my mind just
Where's my dream dictionary? We need to... No. Maybe we'll go through that later.
No, I just think that is because I think about my dogs all the time and I was feeling guilty that I spend so much time away from them and someone also stole my credit card information. So I think that just,
melded together?
Yeah. So I don't think that was anything deeper.
Okay, we don't need to look into it then.
I think it's just me being stressed.
For those of you who have been wondering, it does exist. It's right up here. Dream dictionary.
I'm going to crop it so you can't see that up there.
Please don't. So while reading about the Backrooms as a place where people go to dream, I started thinking about something else that one of you, I believe it may have been Victoria, but please correct me if I'm wrong, brought to my attention, and that is Mall World. We did an entire bonus episode on alternate reality dreams, and they told me about this phenomenon that people have been talking about for years, where each night many people visit this space. There has been a subreddit dedicated to it for many years, but in the summer or fall of last year, a TikToker named Jessica Tilton filmed herself talking about a place where she goes often. She has been to it so many times in her sleep that she was able to draw a rough sketch of a map to her dream world. Now, this is fascinating on its own. A young woman having this entire world or reality where she goes to sleep that she has seen over and over again. There is a large mall with many escalators and elevators and stores and a food court. Many of the photos of these malls really give off the same feeling of these liminal spaces like the Backrooms. So when people talk about Mall World, they'll post like, this is what my mall world looks like. And it's very much Backrooms coded.
Yeah.
There's something nostalgic yet uncanny about it all. And what's even more interesting is that Jessica isn't the only one who's been here. You can go watch her TikToks on it. It's really interesting. But essentially, she began to draw out this entire labyrinth of a place that included the mall and markets, a theater to watch back parts of her life. She said everyone that you know is here watching their lives. Parking lots and garages, campsites, an airport, a beach with mountains in the distance, fairgrounds and playgrounds, high-rises with offices and hotels with pools, neighborhoods down winding roads, a strangely constructed highway that doesn't have any cars, and on and on. It just... You can go look. It's really interesting. Parts of these spaces look completely abandoned, but unlike in the back rooms, there are sometimes many people here. And after the first video was posted, thousands of people took to the comments and began making their own videos about visiting this place, dubbed Mall World, though, like I said, it's much bigger than just the mall. The layout can change and shift, but for the most part, it is extremely similar to what was laid out in the original video. People have dream journals dating back years describing their visits to this place. There was one girl who... she had been struggling with these dreams and she was going to therapy with them. And her therapist told her, why don't you draw it out? And maybe drawing it out, getting out of your mind will, like putting it on paper will help you. And she has like a picture that she drew from years before. And like, no, this is Mall World. And she said, it's not as well drawn as Jessica's because Jessica's like an artist.
Yeah.
But it's very similar. Like you've got this here where like the warehouse here where Jessica drew it is where mine is. And the beach is where mine is.
This is giving like, I took Benadryl and saw the Hat Man, and so everybody sees the same Hat Man.
Yes, but they're all seeing Mall World.
Weird.
Some people find themselves in a Backrooms-esque corridor where they are looking for a way out or walking upstairs that seem to lead to nowhere. Others claim they go to work in these stores or at the office building. There are so many similarities to these spaces, like the food court, the toilets that are often unusable and unsettling, or the tsunami wave coming in from the beach almost constantly.
What?
So people were coming, there's usually a tsunami, like a big tsunami coming through the beach, though it never actually reaches anything.
Okay.
All these people were coming on saying, no, you can go through and watch it. Like if you search Mall World on TikTok, I have seen this, and like commenting on it, building on it, and someone else commenting back. No, I've also seen all of this, everything they're saying. And it's just weird. Like I've been dreaming of this place for years, since I was a child.
So either everyone is crazy and just trying to have a little play along hee hee in the comments, or it's real.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a library with tons of books and records, a school that many have dreamt that they can't find their class schedules and are often running late inside, and underground markets where you can shop if the mall isn't giving you what you need. The dreams are sometimes nightmares, but still set in the same place. And oftentimes, when people wake from their dreams in Mall World, they feel like it may be a place they shouldn't have been, like they don't belong there. But even before these videos were posted, this was being talked about online by people who swear they've been here before. And I've got a description of Mall World that if you go to the Mall World subreddit, this is pinned at the top. Very interesting. Also, just to say, Jessica claims she was not on the Mall World Reddit.
Really?
Before she posted her video. She said, I just wanted to come on and talk about my dreams and how I've been drawing out the world of my dreams. And I didn't know it was going to snowball into this.
And okay, if she is 100% truthful,
yeah,
imagine the freak out when people commented and was like, oh, here's the subreddit with thousands of people on it. And she's like, oh my God.
That's what I got about a lot of these videos that I watched. It was people saying, like, just flabbergasted.
That was my experience, and then I figured out it was everybody else's
I can't believe you've also experienced this. Yes.
Yeah.
So here's the description. I go to the same location every night. The dream isn't the same, but everything about the place is the same. Every night I go to a giant multi-level structure that floats in the sky above a beautiful mountainous region with waterfalls and beachy shores, hills with flowers and forests below. Very what dreams may come. The mall is floating high above this beautiful terrain. It's a giant transit hub, but also a shopping mall, school, and resort. I usually arrive at the dark end of the mall, on the bottom level. That's where the grocery store is. If I'm in a dream state, I go in and shop, usually going through my grocery list. The shop has attendants, checkout clerks, and shoppers. It feels like a very grimy 1980s ShopRite. There's a deli counter, flower shop area, produce, meds aisle, even a magazine/gift cards aisle. Sometimes I find myself wandering the mall. I always know which stores I'm going to go to. They're usually costume or clothes related. There's a busy bookshop I frequent with really cool book choices, sci-fi, epics, magical stuff. Another is this awesome trinket store. I feel like it sells items that help when you travel across dimensions, crystals, amulets, and such. It's very hippy-dippy in there. I've even fallen into the trap of thinking I work in the large department store, the makeup counter, in the mall. It's a large store with glass cases and glass mirror walls. The mall has at least 2 main levels that I can remember, but how far they expand, I do not know. I do have a sense of exhaustion when I'm there, having to navigate. On one end is the grocery store, the rest resembles a large shopping mall. Each store has its own shop owner/assistants. Some parts of the mall are completely empty, while others are packed. I can't remember my interactions with customers and shop attendants. I don't know any of them personally. I remember walking through the mall, not noticing certain stores closed with lights off and others open with customers. The food court is a sight to behold. It's on multiple levels in the center of the mall, very much like Escher's staircase. It should be impossible to get to each area, but it isn't. It's always loud and packed with people sitting together at tables and talking. I don't know if anyone is actually eating anything. It's misty like a rainforest, but also bright from the domed glass ceiling skylight. Everything seems to get brighter as you get to the higher levels. Just above the food court, there is a main set of escalators. These beautiful, glowing, massively long escalators separate the mall from the hotel/resort and the upper structures. However, along the long rise up, there is a decoy dream dimension that resembles business offices and a school/university. There are a few work/school levels. Occasionally, I fall into a work narrative, or I'm a student cutting class on this Hogwarts-style roof. These work/school levels have staircases, not escalators. If you don't get distracted by these levels on the escalator ride up, you eventually arrive at the hotel lobby with elevator doors opening. The ride up the escalator from the mall food court turns into the hotel lobby elevator. The hotel rises so high into the sky and overlooks the beach water below. I'm terrified of the elevators. They go very high, very fast, and I'm the only one who ever seems nervous about it. You can feel your body lifting in the air, the wind as it blows past you. I hold on for dear life in those elevator rides. That is the last you see of brightness or light. The hotel hallways are dark and maze-like. The room's lights are never on. I can walk by rooms and always see they are shared by multiple people. I'm never scared per se, but I get the feeling that I'm not supposed to be in those areas and I could easily get lost. The rooms are messy, and if I peer out the large room window, I always see apocalyptic weather or a space anomaly ripping existence apart. Before I realize the end is near, I'm always waiting for someone to come back for me at the room, usually my family. I leave before anyone arrives. Walking around the lobby, there are elevators, areas that look like a casino, another side with pool tables, and an antique bowling alley. You get hints of daylight from windows around the hotel. Keep walking, there's a small dark arcade that spits out tickets, but I never see a place to redeem them. Usually, most of the machines are broken. I remember asking an attendant who worked there about getting my tickets at the machine. He apathetically tinkers with it, shrugs his shoulders, and puts a do not use sign on it. Funny thing is, there is usually a bucket full of coins just lying around that I never seem to really care about. Probably because all the games suck. Keep walking, and it turns and the hotel hallways lead into a museum-like setting. Art and exhibits on the walls. As you keep going, the wall becomes alive, like you're watching animals in a glass enclosed zoo aquarium. If you go outside to the pool, more like a beach area, it's always about to close. It's super packed and there seems to be setting suns. The glow on everything is incredibly orange. If I leave the hotel through that pool area, I somehow travel to a different destination. I'll think I'm a tourist in Italy or Las Vegas. I'll walk around cobblestone streets and explore beautiful locations, but they aren't earthbound places. It's mimicking Earth, and it feels weird. The Las Vegas part has an amusement park with scary steep carnival rides and a skate park. If I leave the hotel by the casino/fancy buffet restaurant area and venture to the boardwalk/beach side, it's always very ominous. If there isn't a giant tidal wave coming, then space is ripping open and there's a crazy sandstorm. At the very top of the hotel is the transit hub, but before you can leave, you have to stop at the movie theater located on the same floor mere steps away. There's even a few different types of concession stands. The movie theater is very special. It's always packed with people I know who are also getting ready to head back. We all watch what I assume are life reviews. It's always a loud racket in there. The movie gets cut off, the theater lights come on, and we all head to the transit hub. We all wait for our prospective trains, board, and go back home. The train stations seem like they are underground, designed like open subways with people having to hop over tracks to get to their platforms. Sometimes I transition to a bus or car when traveling over the bridge, then I'm usually walking the rest of the route home. Sometimes I'll fly. I don't know why I don't choose to fly more often. Actually, I do know. Sometimes I can't control it, and I go flying off. I do not like being lost in space. I get anxiety just thinking about it. Have you ever been here? I travel to the same place nightly. And then somebody commented, I legitimately have full body goosebumps right now. I know this place, and you've described it so accurately. The 2-level mall that exhausts you with how expansive it is despite only being 2 floors, the grocery store on one end, the hotel elevator and the transit hub with people having to hop over tracks to get to the right platform. I've been here so many times. Like another commenter said, I've tried to describe this place to people and couldn't, and you've hit every detail spot on. And then another, guys, I just found this. I have been stuck in this same mall hotel resort, but also can leave into the area around. I've explored a lot, been stuck there every night since I was 15 and I'm 28 now. Can we unravel this mystery together, like explore deeper? It's driving me up a wall. Furthest I've got was a tunnel in the basement of the mall near the theater section. But before the arcade, there's an employee's entrance you go through. When I enter the tunnel, I always arrive at the base of a mountain with a city wrapped on it, and a temple with an entrance into it at the top. But I never make it up. I've also explored the areas surrounding the mall. Anyone find a house on a hill or a group of cabins you can rent out in the forest? Also came across a broken bridge under construction. And that's really spooky because the girl who drew the map also had cabins in the forest.
This is so detailed. And how do they remember all of these things? Because there's always parts of my dream where, like, if I'm telling you about my dream, I'm like, I don't know how I got there, but then this happened.
2 thoughts. 1, they visit it so often.
Yeah.
2, that's another thing that people say about Mall World. It's not like other dreams. So if you have other dreams, it's just kind of like weird and you don't remember. These dreams are very vivid and you remember them. So that's like another reason why people are weirded out by it.
This is very strange.
And I've read so many stories. So you can go find them on Mall World and other places, not even just Reddit, on TikTok, anywhere where people are telling stories of describing the same thing. And sometimes there are like Victorian neighborhoods. And
Oh.
there have been a lot of people who say they get lost in the same house. And it's just all like connected. It's all this big giant dreamscape that many people say, yes, I've been here. It's over and over again.
The tsunami and like space ripping apart thing is very, very strange to me. What the heck does that mean?
I don't know. And it spooks me a lot.
And you know what's weird is like, long story short, we had something going on at the school on Friday where a lot of the classes had to watch a movie because a part of the gym was being used and we couldn't move around a lot. And the movie that my boss put on for a couple of classes was WALL-E. First of all, felt so deeply emotional. I was like, I cannot watch this screen. I just got to look to the side because I was feeling very sad.
That's a good movie.
But also it's like, you're describing all these weird things and I just watched WALL-E and like the world is over and then there was like the wave on there and the space is ripping apart and I'm like, are they going to the end of the world? Like, are they going to when everything is about to be over?
That'd be really creepy.
Because do you think that one day all of this will just end?
I truly don't know.
Because you know what I mean? It's like,
I can't even
nothing is forever. There's nothing in this world that is forever. So is the world forever? Is the universe forever? Or is it all one day going to go away? Are they all traveling to the hub where everything is about to end?
Like it's not a dreamscape, rather it's a point in time that they're all traveling to?
Yeah, like something like that.
That's an interesting theory.
Because I'm just stuck on like the space ripping apart and the wave and like, why is it all like doomsday?
I don't know. And it's not always bad. Sometimes people have good dreams here where they're shopping and they're just living their lives and
but it's
going about
weird.
watching movies. But yeah, there's usually a tsunami or something strange happening in the sky. That is weird. I didn't think about that. But there are theories that people have of what this all could mean. Some believe that it's proof of the collective unconsciousness, though it's very hard to prove this. There are also those who believe it's all connected somehow to the GATE program back in the 80s and 90s, and the government and some 3-letter agencies have something to do with it.
It's weird that you're bringing this up because I was getting my lashes done the other day and my lash lady asked me about it. I was like, no, I haven't. I saw like one TikTok where a girl was talking about it, but I don't even know what that is. She was like, I was in that. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she like
gifted and talented something.
I don't know. And she like kind of was like insinuating that there was some kind of like conspiracy. And I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, Diva. And she didn't elaborate. And I was just like, wow, spooky. I had no idea what we were talking about.
I haven't gone further than just people saying there were some weird things like they look and they have papers, like old papers from they would be taken from a different class and going to their GATE program thing. And they were doing things in Morse code and like in Russian and other strange things. And then there are people who say that the test itself, they were tested for psychic abilities. That's a whole other thing we'd have to.
What?
It's like a whole other topic.
Okay.
But some people are saying that Mall World is related to that. And a lot of people who have been to Mall World were also a part of the GATE program. And maybe something happened to their subconscious, their psyche, and they all visit here at night.
What? Okay, because I got like GT tested, like gifted and talented, but not whatever you're talking about. We were doing Russian and Morse code.
No, I was in GT. We didn't do Russian, but we did code things. But it was more so logic and like puzzles rather than just learn Morse code so you can become a spy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's why she wouldn't elaborate. I was like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, ha ha ha, and like moved on. And I said, okay, wow. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a whole conspiracy that people are talking about, or have been. There are also those who believe that it's possible we've all just visited similar places like malls, particularly in America, and have lived similar experiences that led us to have similar dreams. And maybe it's all just coincidental, or it's suggestive, and we are only seeing this stuff because it's being talked about. So people are making the connections only because it's being talked about, not necessarily because we are visiting the same place.
Yeah.
The New York Times spoke with Dylan Selterman, a scientist who works as an associate teaching professor at the Johns Hopkins University Department of Psychology and Brain Sciences. And they talked about dreams of Mall World. And he claims there was no scientific research that backed any of the Mall World theories. Quote, if people are reporting very similar specific physical features of the mall in their dreams, we don't have any evidence for the collective subconscious or some kind of telepathy that would explain that. It could be a coincidence. It could also be a form of social contagion, like if somebody says, I had this dream about a mall, and then it's now in the discourse, people might be picking up on that, and then it gets incorporated into their dreams. It's common, Dr. Selterman said, for people to have similar dreams, such as when people dream of their teeth falling out. And because malls are such common places for people to visit in their waking lives, it's not so strange that they would regularly appear in dreams. With so little data to study, Dr. Selterman said it was impossible to say for sure why mall world dreams occurred. Sometimes people just dream about weird stuff.
That is true. And like dream, quote unquote, science, if you even want to call it that, is so like, maybe you can study it, maybe you can't, because you're just basing your research on what people are telling you.
It's impossible to
you can't
get
measure
a good study. Yeah, that's measurable and that doesn't have tons of variables. Yeah, like a constant.
People are liars. Also, you're not going to remember everything from your dream. Maybe you don't dream a night. Maybe you did dream and you don't know that you did. So unless we can create the science one day where we can see what people are seeing in their dreams.
That's why I found so interesting. Maybe we talked about it in the Patreon episode where they are doing studies where they can communicate with people in their dreams.
Yeah.
And it's lucid dreaming.
I forgot that. Yeah. That's, I don't know. I'd like to one day get to a point where maybe we can study dreams, but I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. No. But I believe in you guys. Do it for us. And I'll read about it.
Please. So as I said in the beginning, I have no answers, just more questions and theories. If there is a space where we can all go to dream, could somewhere like the empty Backrooms act as a liminal space, a place where we go when we are in between realms or worlds? Are dreams themselves liminal spaces? Is Mall World a similar place where people from all over with different life experiences and backgrounds go to visit while they are in an astral state? Or is it collective unconsciousness like Carl Jung believed? Or is it something else entirely that we just don't know about or understand yet? Dreams fascinate me, and when you can make connections like this between people who have never met, then I need more answers. I don't know if any of this even makes sense, but I found it all fascinating, and they all gave me very similar thoughts and questions, and I thought I would just bring that to you today, just present it as more so, here's what I have, help.
I mean, yeah.
And some people do believe in the simulation theory, by the way. I forgot to mention that in theories. Some people do believe that this is proof of simulation.
Which is crazy.
Especially dreams like that little boy had where, what are you doing in here?
That's immediately where my head went. I don't know where I fall with that. Sometimes I do say, like, if something happens, I'm like, oh, this is a simulation. But I'm not deep into that theory.
You're not sold.
I feel like someone in the comments is going to be like, yeah, absolutely, and you verified it. Thank you. I already knew it. But
and if you do, I'm interested to hear what you think.
I respect it. I just haven't fallen deeply into that yet. Mm-hmm. But there are some things that make me question, like, that's not real. This is not real.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Could the Backrooms be something like Mall World, where it's just, that's why it's so unsettling when we see things like that? It's a space where we have before? Or a space like a space we've been before?
That's what I thought, like, Backrooms were. I thought it was just places that we had all been before or, like, dreamed about before.
That's what some people say.
That's what I thought it was, but I thought it was real. Like, I thought it was, like, I mean, from what you just said, like, a lot of people do believe that it's real, so
yeah.
I didn't think it came from a creepypasta. I'm going to stop suggesting things.
The exact... Oh, that's okay.
Because everything I've said has been unfounded.
I didn't know either, so...
Okay.
You took it, I went to the people, and they said, yes, let's talk about this, and now we find out together that it's fake. But is it still weird? Is it fake? Is it totally fake? Is there some truth to it? Are people maybe drawing on inspiration from things and places that they have visited?
Mm-hmm.
Is it connected to Mall World in some way? Because I don't know why. Because I watched the Mall World thing a few months ago.
Yeah.
As I was reading about the Backrooms, my first thought was Mall World and places like that and dreams.
Okay.
So I don't know if I weaved a whole very confusing web that doesn't make sense at the end and I have zero conclusions to tie it all together. But here's my information.
The comments are going to be really interesting.
I hope so.
I'm really interested to see what everybody says. I wish we could get on a Zoom call and just let people raise their hand and pick them, be like, what did you think? All right, thank you. What did you think?
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Because I love reading the comments, but I am like at my limit right now with time and busyness where lately I haven't been getting to read them all until like days later.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because by then the people have moved on. I want us to all sit down and talk about it because I don't know. But this wasn't as weird and out there as I think you like originally thought.
I think maybe I just feel that way because there is no conclusion.
Well, I mean, we talked about fairies. We talk about duendes.
But there's a conclusion for me with fairies.
For you? I mean, for some people, there is a conclusion to this. Because if you brought this to a person that doesn't think about any paranormal things ever, and they're just very, like, cut and dry and you say, here's our episode about fairies, they're going to be like, you are on something, get away from me, you know?
Maybe.
So for this for me is not that out there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people right now are thinking like,
it's not even the
okay,
out there thing. It's just,
out there. What is it?
Yeah, what is it? I feel that the topics are connected in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't, like, I don't have the string to pull it all together. You know, I just, because there's no answer for me.
Everything we
It's
talk
all
about
theory.
on this podcast is theory.
I guess.
And what you believe personally, because
maybe so.
you and I believe in like demons and dark spirits, and some people would say, no, mental illness, there is never a demon. Sometimes if you think a person's possessed, no, they are just having a mental health crisis. And they could be right. We could be right. Our whole podcast is
one
what if?
Big question mark.
It is. And so I don't think this episode was that out there, and I liked it. So,
okay, good. Let me know if you liked this episode, if you thought it was just me rambling on, like I feel like it is. Also, I want to know your theories. Do you believe that Mall World is a place, or there are places like Mall World where we go, where it's like almost like our astral selves are going and visiting at night? And
because
I'm picturing, like, have you ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
Where they have, like, their video game, and then afterwards there's this terminal, and they can all travel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Mall World a place like that, where when everyone wakes up, they're like, all right, taking my break?
It could be because
there's something like that.
How many movies and TV shows and things are, like, have you seen close to this topic?
Yeah.
Where are they getting that inspiration from? Where does that come from? You don't just randomly create something in your head.
Well, sometimes
you're drawing
you do.
Inspiration. There is a smidge of inspiration from
just like
something.
Severance was inspired very slightly by the Backrooms.
Exactly. So I don't think people just create things out of thin air. I think it all leads back to something. And I'm going to say something weird, like dragons. People didn't just come up with that. They saw something and said, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that getting too weird?
No, it's not at all.
Because, like,
I have dragons on our list.
I saw an oarfish the other day, a picture of 2 oarfish that surfaced, and someone commented, I see why people thought there were, like, underwater evil dragons or underwater monsters, because those things look creepy.
Oh, yeah, that's really
And if you
scary.
don't see them day to day and you're out on a boat, like, fishing or doing your work, and you see that, you're like,
strange thing, you're like,
that's a monster.
There's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Like an anglerfish?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have no knowledge of this and you are in like the 1800s and you tell someone about what you saw, they're going to go, oh, that's a monster, and things spiral from there. I'm getting way too off topic, but you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you mean. And
everything comes from something.
I'm just confused. So please leave in the comments what you think. Have you ever been to the Mall World? Have you ever been to something like the Backrooms? What you thought? I just really want to know.
Yeah.
Like this video if you liked it. Share it with your friends if you feel compelled to do so, and subscribe for more. We have another episode coming out tomorrow. So if you made it here this long, you know tomorrow, be on the lookout. There's something coming.
We have a collab.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Very excited about that. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.
Or Friday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.